Okay, so let's aim for a little bit more detail on this. So one of the things that we can think is we can think of the torso as a three-part system, okay? And so you have the chest portion, you have the stomach portion, and you have the pelvic region. And each of them we'll consider separately, okay? So one of the things about the chest region is this. So here's the belly region. And the whole chest region kind of overlaps like that. So this is kind of a good principle to hold on to, right, for just for getting started with this, is that you've got this kind of overlapping system up top. So anytime you're working to draw it, like if you draw the bean shape from the side, like that, and then we go ahead and let's get this guy, and at the bottom of it, it comes up like this in the front. That's the bottom of the rib cage. So it's this kind of like bullet shape. We can think of, like, you see the top shape, it's almost like a bullet, like that, with a hole in the middle that the neck comes out of. And in the front, there's this arch right there, and that's the thoracic arch. It's right there. And this stuff here is overlapping. Look at, you see this little distance right there? It's because it helps me show you that this form is like encasing this form. It's on top of it, okay? So another thing about this form, so it's big, right? So the rib cage is big, and it can be thought of as having various sides. So we can draw it out of a rectangular, and it's not that it is a rectangle. It's not a rectangle, but it has some of the properties of a rectangle. A rectangle gets us kind of close, okay? And one of the things that you get by using a rectangle to draw it is, say we have a light direction. So if this is going to be the front, the hole for the neck comes about there. It bends around like this. Here's the thoracic arch. It comes around like this. There's my center line. And you can think of this, you can shade it with the light coming over this way. We can say, well, this whole side here, move into shadow. And that would be in shadow. There would be a little shadow accent here, and some darkening on the edge. And the rib cage is a little bit more circular than it is square. It's kind of but so this over here would be turning out to the light. And that's the underlying principle of a rib cage right there. That's the shape that's sort of in here. But then it gets built on. We start to add stuff onto the top of it. So one of the things that gets added to the top of it are the pectoralis muscles. That's the sort of main thing that's going to get added to the top of it. And those guys come up right here. So starting from a very simple conception, like a bean, okay, and then overlaying it with the rib cage, letting it come forward, letting the rib cage like be a bigger bulk on top of that. And here's the hole for the neck, like that. And now we're going to deal with the pectoralis muscles, and those are the muscles right here, the big muscles of your chest. and they're separated by a space, so they're not they have this little space right in here, and then they go like that, and they go like over and up, and over here they go over and down, and they connect to the arm bone right there, over and up, over and down, and they connect to the arm bone right there. Okay, you see their connection to the arm bone? And so here's the center line. We'll put a center line in. There's a center line. And now the pectoralis muscle travels over the rib cage, and it has bulk itself. So I'm adding this distance right there. You see that distance? And then it needs to go upwards right here. And then it comes over, and it will need to go upwards right there. Because this guy is turned, I'm seeing a lot less of that and a lot more of this. Now it comes over and along, and it comes down until it can connect with the arm bone over here. Okay? And the arm bone on the other side. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere with this little guy. I think that I'm going to stop there in this video. So we have, in this one, you have the rib cage and you have the pectoralis muscles, okay?